Yes, Kenya. Tamu sana, tamu sana, tamu sana, yes. Yesterday, William Ruto led Kenya Kwanza Brigade to a church function in West Pokot County. During the function, Rigathi made some very interesting remarks I want us to have a look at here, for they are going to form the basis of our analysis and discussion right now. And that's so because currently there is a probe on Pastor Ezekiel and Pastor Mackenzie. Listen to Rigathi before we proceed. Yes. That's Rigathi speaking in a church. And from his speech, it's very clear he is just inciting. And the target is Raila Amolo Odinga. And the funny bit about it is that as he's pushed head on the church pulpit, some church leaders are even smiling, an indication they are indeed encouraging him to continue spewing hate on the church pulpit. And that's funny because as I talk, there is a probe on Pastor Ezekiel and Pastor Mackenzie, a probe that is still ongoing. The two pastors are accused of some monkey businesses in their church premises. When you see a church minister or a church leader giving a politician the podium to spew hate, how can somebody explain that? Because personally, I believe that a true man or woman of God should dissuade or discourage politicians from using the church pulpit to attack their political opponents. But you are seeing clearly those church leaders were just smiling as Rigathi spew hate. So I won't be wrong to make a conclusion that the church in Kenya is a very big letdown. And the real agents who are coming out as killing that church in Kenya is Ruto and his team. And this is something I'm saying without any fear of contradiction. If you look at the people who have successfully managed to kill the church in Kenya, that's Ruto and his team. They introduced politics in our churches, convinced some church leaders, bought some, bribed some, and those church leaders started pressing them and worshipping them at the expense of worshipping the true God. And right now that Ruto and his team, they have the government, you are seeing the church is actually the target. Where honest church leaders who have been speaking truth to power, they are being targeted, while those who have been actually pressing the government, they are not being targeted. So in one way or the other, we are finding that William Ruto's government is killing the church in Kenya. As they kill the church, fake church leaders are emerging, and the government is protecting the fake church leaders. From those speeches, rather from that speech, you are listening to Rigathi still talking about shareholders. That if you never voted for them, then you forget about government services. And this is an issue that, honestly, I strongly believe that William Ruto should now call Rigathi to order. This aspect of every now and then talking about shareholders, that if you never voted for them, I strongly believe that's very wrong of William Ruto to allow his deputy, to still continue on that trajectory, because Kenyans have got a right to vote for whoever they want to vote for. Developments and even government goodies should not be pegged on who voted for the government and who never voted for the government, because at the end of the day, all Kenyans are expected to pay tax. Hey, yes, all Kenyans are paying taxes, so they should be served equally based, or rather based on the fact that they all pay taxes. So in a nutshell, Rigathi is still exhibiting signs of a greenhorn, a political greenhorn, and is coming out as a leader who was not yet mature for national leadership. And that's something I've consistently repeated here. Ruto and his team were still not prepared, not matured enough for national leadership. That's something coming out from their speeches. As I conclude, it's almost certain and very clear that the government, instead of delivering, they are out propagating lies. When you see Rigathi saying that Raila ataki mambo ya sadaka, Rigathi is just trying to say that Raila is not actually, rather Raila is somebody anti-church establishment, which again is somehow a very big lie, going by what we are seeing happening in this government. Let me stop it there, ladies and gentlemen. In case you want to support our forum, I've pinned my number on the comment section. Contact me through the number, or feel free to channel your support to the number. Any other person watching us outside Kenya, drop a comment, let us know from which part of the globe you are watching us from. The remarks by Rigathi Gachagua confirms one thing. William Ruto and his team are still not yet ready they are not yet ready to let the church be. They are still out to destroy the church, because still hovering around the country, using the church pulpit to play politics, that's wrong. That's a way of killing the church. Let's meet in our next analysis.